Today, my guest is Esmerelda Rodriguez. Esmerelda retired recently from the Grand Prairie Independent School District as the Parent Involvement Facilitator. Today, we talk about her job responsibilities within the district and how she would help parents be more involved in their children's education, as well as helping them discover resources available when they needed them. We also discuss how she came to participate in the Grand Prairie Host Lions Club and how she came to be the district governor. She tells her story of watching her parents remain involved in communities, even when traveling as migrant workers throughout the country, and how important purpose and community service is. Esmerelda is delightful, and as a community member who watches her hard work and dedication to the city, she's truly inspirational, and I am honored to have her on the podcast. Enjoy! So, hi, Esmerelda. How are you?
Hi, Jenna. I'm doing great, excited, and proud to be here.
I'm so glad that you are. I've wanted to talk to you for a while. Actually, I went to a Lions Club meeting. I guess it was, you know what? It was right when I feel like it was like right in the fall. And I remember saying to someone, I just want to get out and do something with other
Yes,
people. And
yes.
so someone was like, come to a Lions Club meeting.
I think it was my daughter Marissa. I
That's
think we
right.
talked
It
to her on
was.
Facebook, and she
It
said,
was Marissa.
"Come on down to Allah's barbecue because we're gonna be meeting there." I remember. Yes.
Yes. And so now things have changed a little bit because you are retired.
Well, I'm retiring officially. My last day. I've submitted my retirement or resignation. It'll be effective June 30th. Is my last day.
How
Yes.
do you feel about that?
Well, mixed feelings. I'm excited to retire. I've been working with Grand Prairie ISD now for 27 years or a little bit over. And, I've been planning for it, and it's mixed feelings in the sense because, I've been there for so long, and I love helping people, and I know they've gotten used to my being there. However, we have a lot of great people, supportive people there that can take up the flack when I'm gone. And I tell people, I'm retiring from Grand Prairie ISD, but I'm not retiring from helping and serving people. Just gonna do it in a different way. I'm gonna be district governor for the Grand Prairie Oaks Lions Club and 2X1. So I'm pretty excited about that for this coming year, starting July 1st. So it's good stuff happening.
Wow. So you worked for the school district for, you said, 27 years. What did you do there?
Well, when I first started, I worked as the Grand Prairie ISD Connections Program Coordinator, which a couple of other people have done that position, Miss Christine Gonzalez and now Sonia Ortega. But I did that for 5 years. And then I moved into being, and I don't know if you know, but the Connections Program, they help identify children and families that are in transition or like in homeless situations or living with a relative or friend because of need, or in a motel, or they're living out of a car or a tent or so forth. However, then after that, I started being the worked at Bonham Elementary for about 5 years as a counselor slash social worker there for 5 years. And then after that, when I did that, I did a little bit of everything, working with families, doing outreach, health fairs, doing counseling, guidance lessons, so forth, and everything else that counselors, social workers do.
Mm-hmm.
Referrals to the community, troubleshooting a lot of issues that families are faced with. Then I became the Grand Prairie ISD Parent Involvement Facilitator. And I kind of moved on up a little bit at a time and did a lot of with programming and working in consultation with counselors, social workers, the principals, assistant principals, nurses, to try to build our family engagement program there in Grand Prairie ISD. So I don't know, I've always worked with families there, it seems like, in Grand Prairie ISD. And then I became the parent involvement coordinator, and then the director of community and family engagement has been the last position that I've had. But it's taken me 27 years. It's main thing has been consistent is working with families and making sure that they get as many resources about the campuses that are offered there or at the district level or in the community, kind of being the bridge between the home and the school, or the school and the home. Over this past few years, overseeing the family engagement liaisons, which are a bridge between the home and the school. We interpret for the staff to get information to the parents, and mainly, hopefully, try to listen to parents to get them information that they really feel that they need to be the partners in education with us for their children to be successful academically. I mean, that's the bottom
Wow.
line. I think we all want our students to be successful or do better than us. Don't you think? I mean,
Oh,
I know,
yes.
you know,
Well, and it's complicated for people that, I came from, that I came from educators. So I knew a lot more about how the school system works and resources that are available than probably most people would.
right.
So being able to have that connection to the school district that you're providing, and other people that are, working with you are providing, is a huge deal. You mentioned kind of, excuse me, you mentioned the connections program. I'm assuming you worked with Lifeline shelters a lot.
Yes. Oh, yes, a lot. We still work with them a lot. I mean, they help our families a lot, especially families that are getting to the difficult, extenuating circumstances for a little bit, to help them get assistance with, supportive with housing. And it's amazing the gap that they have been able to help us fill, that families are really feeling right now with financial strain and limited resources in the community. So they're a very great resource for our school district and our Grand Prairie community. Thank goodness that they're here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, and I don't know how many people in Grand Prairie really know. I mean, if you don't need the services of Lifeline, then I don't know if you even know that Lifeline might exist. But Lifeline is just like what you said, it's specifically for kids that are in the school district. So we do have a
Right.
Grand Prairie homeless organization, but that is for adults. The Lifeline is for students that are in the school district, to keep them in a school. And
Right.
so it sounds like you were on the district side while the shelter was on the nonprofit side. But it sounded like you worked with a lot of other nonprofits also within the
Right.
community.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's the beautiful thing here in Grand Prairie and in our school district, that we've been very blessed to have a lot of community partners that have either individuals, faith-based organizations, civic organizations, the city. I mean, Grand Prairie United Charities, of course, Lifeline Shelter, Brighter Tomorrow, Children's
mhm,
First Counseling Center, even Tammy Chang with the Grand Prairie Homeless Outreach Organization,
mhm,
like you mentioned. They work a lot with adults, but sometimes she helps us identify some of the families, because they come to, maybe she finds them first instead of when they come into the school. So it's incredible to me. I've been here 36 years or so. I haven't worked with the district all that time. I was a stay-at-home mom before I worked for
mhm.
the school district. And I think that's something that makes me feel real passionate about helping families and give them the knowledge so they can make good decisions, because I was a stay-at-home mom
Mm.
for 5 or 6 years, and I didn't know where to go when my kids were growing up and they needed resources, and I had to kind of like find out on my own and end up frustrated before I was able to find somebody to help me. So that was something that I took to heart when I started working in the school district in all my different positions, was how important it is to try to reach out. And even then, I always feel, okay, we need to try to do even better and really challenge ourselves to reach out to families and parents, because we listen to them. They will tell us what they need, and we will work better to get where we need the children for them to be successful. And that's something, hopefully, that's something we all still strive for. Uh,
So how do you find the parents to talk to? Do they contact you and then you contact them back, or do y'all reach out at the beginning of the year? And are there specific parents that you're trying to reach in a
mhm.
or how does
All
that
of the
work?
above. I
Yeah.
mean, all, there's not one way. Some families, they self-refer themselves, they show up. We're really, it's a great thing we have in Grand Prairie ISD. We have the Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center. That was a really awesome thing that our previous superintendent thought about, that wanted for different services that our district provided to be under one roof, instead of families having to be going to one location and then to another, especially sometimes when they had limited gas. That was frustrating for the family. So that was a really unique gem that our district has, that we have the Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center. We have Lifeline Shelter there. We have the bilingual ESL program there, doing the language placement center, that are able to do testing for kids that speak another language, that may, so we can know what services they need, and to meet their educational needs. We have the Connections program there. My office is there, the LEAP Learning Elevator for all parents. We have our food services, our nutrition program there. So it's an incredible thing that we have there, especially right now when we had the pandemic. It made it easier for parents to just call, and we could service them the best that we could, even if we had to do it over the phone or email. In some families, when we had the issues with technology, the
Mm.
families would drive by there and just pick up their hotspot so they could have access to technology. I mean, I think that's one thing I'm very proud of our district. I mean, people can say all kinds of things. The bottom line is this: I think we've always tried to get ahead as much as we could, to go ahead and try to service the kids and the families. I mean, is there always something to do? Of course, but we just keep trying to get ahead and meet the needs. Food distributions also. I mean, even our food services, we went out on the buses and went and distributed hotspots
Mhm.
out there in the trailer parks, or take food also, or it's amazing. I know sometimes it's difficult for people to realize that we're here in America, and there's still some families dealing with food insecurity, or that are needing assistance with food. But that's something that our community has stepped up.
Mhm.
Grand Prairie United Charities has helped us on an ongoing basis. We can refer families there. St. Michael's Catholic Church. We have different St. Vincent de Paul organizations that help us. There's so many churches that have stepped up to help us, really. Also, in addition, I don't know. Does that help a little bit?
Oh yeah, it does. And this is something I've talked a lot about with several other people that I've talked to. Do you know Vendela?
Yes, Vandela
Yeah.
Menifee and I are very good friends. But
Uh-huh.
families they come to our social work hub located at LBJ, and on 650 Stonewall Drive, and they drive by, and they pick up food or clothing items. The Women's Club has always helped a lot with Kids Inc. has helped a
Mhm.
lot with clothing items, shoes and socks, and undergarments. I mean, I tell you, we may not be the biggest city in the state of Texas, but city of Grand Prairie has a big heart.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, that's what me and Vendela were talking about. Is we were talking about connections and having a network of people that are identifying a bunch of different things, and everybody has their passions. Everybody has their things in their heart that they really want to reach out and do something to help
Right.
a specific thing. And we have very specific nonprofits in this city. And I don't know if it's like this in other places. I don't have any way else to compare it, but it's like when you can say you're on a first name basis with everyone that's in the city that does different things, and you say, oh, I know that this person does this, you need to call so and so,
Right.
and everybody works together in such a good way. It really helps identify all of the different, because the school district could never be able to do everything, that the
Right.
community could also fill in the gaps, and city
Right.
government can't do that. You have to have people that are passionate, and then also being able to work together to really meet those needs.
Right.
So it sounds like you work with a lot of families from a lot of different parts of the community.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges that some of the people in our community in Grand Prairie are being faced with, or that you feel like is maybe something that we as a city or as a community could do better at addressing? Do you see anything?
I think that not only in Grand Prairie, but throughout the United States, we have families that are dealing with a whole lot of the issues, that are generic, balancing work, home, and school. Um, dealing with blended family issues, relationship issues. Even here, we have issues with food insecurity or inclusive growth, dealing with uh, the future maybe employment. Am I going to still have my job, or is the company going to close? We had a lot of that during the pandemic at the beginning, and some businesses are starting to get going, but some may still be struggling. Employment issues. um, there's so many that we deal with: families, mental health issues,
Mm-hmm.
the financial stressors, death of a family member. My daughter and I were very sick with COVID
Mm-hmm.
this past June, and it about killed us. And it's like a lot of family members or friends, or maybe too. I know family members that died from COVID, or friends or colleagues, and but even just death in general, the loss of a loved one. Sometimes some of our families are having to deal with that. Health issues, some of our families deal with have kids that have different abilities or special needs, and it's been a bit stressful. Well, not a bit, a lot stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Even with just this virtual learning, the
Ugh.
pandemic kind of turned everybody's life upside down. Parents have had to be more being teachers this year. Teachers had to be double duty, doing in-person and virtual learning. My goodness, my
Mm-hmm.
hats off to all the teachers and administrators that, wow, they got through it like champions, and the parents and families and the students too. Man, that was a craziness that everybody had to go through.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you?
Seriously.
I was thinking about the mental health, especially of our students. And I say this as much as I possibly can, because there's a lot of states that weren't able to go back to school face to face, not even some of them until this last month. And I'm glad that Texas allowed the kids to have an option, because I was really worried about a lot of the kids there for a little while. I was worried about adults too, but I really was worried about our kids not being able to see each other. Have you noticed or heard of any, have you heard more about that lately, or do you, or not so much, as far as being able to handle all the stress of what's happened in the last year and a half?
I think mental health or social emotional well-being has been something that our district has always been very progressive
Mm-hmm.
in addressing. We have counselors, we have social workers, which I'm very proud of. That the district has always been real good about having that. Nurses. We sometimes we may take for granted that we have these additional staff that are awesome in supporting our students. We have one of the real great things with our wellness with the students for 6th through 12th grade. Also, we have dial care, that they can get counseling virtually. They don't have to go anywhere. So that's been a really great thing for our students. And then for our younger students, we have the counselors that are available to provide counseling for them,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that a lot of resources are we're having difficulty on seeing the kids. So the district did great job. Our counseling department, our executive director of counseling has done an awesome job reaching out to families. But I know in the beginning you asked me, well, how do you reach out to the families? Well, in any way, form or
Mm-hmm.
shape: Facebook, Instagram. Our district tries to get out information as much as possible. And even then, we may still miss people. But the main thing is the relationships, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and connections. I've been here a long time, and bottom line is, if the parents don't feel that we care about their kids, they're not going to care what we say or what we do. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I think that's always a challenge to us, to continue to let our students know that we care about them. And it's a big responsibility that our teachers
Mm-hmm.
have, that all our staff have. I don't care if you're a bus driver or work in the lunchroom. All of us are trained that it's very important that we connect and reach out to the kids. And I think that's something that parents, me as a grandparent and as a parent that had kids here in GPISD,
Mm-hmm.
now they're adults. That was always important to me. So that's something I feel that's important to families, that we do connect with the kids, and the kids are going to do better if they have one adult that connects with them and has a good relationship with them and believes in them. The students will step up no matter what extenuating circumstances, like we talked about earlier, that you said, well, what are some issues that families in Grand Prairie, not just in Grand Prairie, all across our United States, that our families are dealing with a whole lot, gamut of issues.
Yeah, totally. And you do a lot during the day, but one of the ways that, well, I know that you're just really, really involved with the Lions Club. And I want you to tell everybody about that. But what else besides the Lions Club? Because I know that you're a really busy woman. So what all do you do on your extra spare time?
Well, I've cut down, believe it or not, on a lot of things. I tend to focus on the things that bring me joy and that help as many people as possible. I'm involved with the Cub Scouts at our St. Michael's Church because my grandson, my youngest grandson, goes there, and with the Boy Scouts because my oldest grandson is there, and also because I believe in the scouting program. It's a great extracurricular program for boys and girls, so I love it. I involved there at St. Michael's Church because I've been a parishioner there since 1987. So I believe, and I not only pray there, but I tend to volunteer there as much as possible in whatever our Father Joseph needs us to help with. And then, of course, with our Grand Prairie Host Lions Club here in Grand Prairie. But I'm also involved at the district level, 2X1 Lions, because I'm going to be district governor this coming year. It's been at least a 6-year commitment, being president, being zone chair, and then second vice, first vice, and now district governor. And then after this coming year, I'll be immediate past district governor. But I really enjoy the Lions Club, and this was a good year for me to transition since I'm going to be the district governor, and we have 58 clubs currently in our district, and we have 16 districts in the state of Texas. So each district has a governor, and we're kind of like the CEO of the Lions clubs in our district. We have about 1,700 members, and we focus on 5 global causes. We focus on diabetes, we focus on vision, we focus on environment, we focus on hunger and childhood cancer. And then in addition to that, we also focus, of course, on youth, humanitarian efforts, and disaster relief. The bottom line is this: the great thing about Lions Clubs is if there's a need in the community, the club that we organize there and that we develop and put together, they can address. And we have specialty clubs, but the most important thing is it's a group of civic-minded people that love to serve. All colors, all shapes, all sizes, all ages, young and old. We have the Leo Club. You can start when you're 12 years old. And Leo stands for leadership and experience and opportunities. And it's for young people, teens, 12 to 18, to come together and do service in the community. And then those are alpha kind of Leos. And then we have Omega from 18 to 30 years old. So with our regular Lions Club, so we do here in Grand Prairie, we do vision clinics, we do the community cleanup, and we do community gardening at Bush. We go help feed the homeless with Grand Prairie Homeless Outreach Organization with Tammy Chan. We do a little bit of everything. You know how I started being a lion?
I was going to ask you.
Yeah. I was asked for 10 years to be a lion. And you know what I would always say, Jenna?
What?
No, I can't do it. I'm too busy. Well, when I joined 10 years later, I was even busier. But, busy people, if you believe in something, you're going to make time for it.
Absolutely.
And you love to do it. And I really enjoy serving other people. That's something my mom and dad, I know that was one of your questions that you were going to ask me. I'm going to tell you. Why do I do it? Being crazy around, I'm not crazy, enthusiastic about and passionate about helping others, because my mom and dad, they instilled in that in us, have a good, strong work ethic and never forget where you came from and to give back to others in your community. So that's why I do it. My mom had diabetes. She ended up dying because of the diabetes. So when I decided that I wanted to be in a civic organization after being asked 10 years to be a lion, that was one of the things that I looked at. Is this people that are going to be helping others? And diabetes was important for me to fight diabetes or
Mhm.
give people information about diabetes so they could make changes in their lifestyle so they could survive diabetes or help prevent diabetes. So
Mhm.
that's how I ended up being a Lion member. And I've been a Lion member now 21 years.
I'm really glad that you said civic organization, because it reminds me that, and I've been talking a lot about with a bunch of different guests about how the community can get more involved in their own community, because I feel like everyone needs to have something that they are a part of,
Yes.
that they can grow with. And, it kind of reminds me, there are different types of organizations. So you have organizations that are just there for like business networking. You have
Right.
organizations that are nonprofits that are trying to raise money and work with the community in that way. But then you also have the civic organizations, and Rotary would be another example. But the Lions Club and Rotary is just for people to get together that are citizens, that they can just insert themselves into spaces where the community might need them. And I think that this is just of the utmost importance. And you and you also mentioned another church that in our community does a lot, which is St. Michael's. And they work with, a matter of fact, I went and interviewed with the Pregnancy Resource Center, and St. Michael's has been a longtime supporter of that center. And so you said that your parents kind of instilled that in you, and working. What did they do? Like, how did they model that behavior for you as a kid?
Well, my parents were migrant workers. So we were migrant workers growing up, traveling. We had a home in San Benito, Texas, way down south, here in Texas, American citizens. And however, they only went to the second grade. However, I always tell people, my parents had PhD of life, man. They taught us about the importance of how education would turn your life around and give you more opportunities. They wanted us to do even better than what they did. They were very hardworking people. However, they never gave up. They were very grateful and thankful for what they had. And we had a home in San Benito. However, we would travel to Ohio, Michigan, Nebraska, Colorado.
I
Oh,
was going
I
to
don't know,
ask
a
you
whole
to
bunch of states.
talk about, so you said they were migrant workers. And so what does that mean exactly? And you're kind of getting into it now, but where all would they go and what did they do? Like,
Well, they would pick
work would they do?
some of a lot of agricultural work. We would go and plant or go and pick tomatoes or pickles or apples or strawberry or cotton. I mean, all kinds of different seasonal work. And I know growing up, I tell you, it was hard work, Jenna. Talk about motivation to do good in school. We would leave around March and come back in October. But wherever we went, they always put me in school. I always went to school wherever, and they would bus us. And then after school, we'd change and go and work in the fields for a couple of hours. And girl, whether it was raining or cold or hot sun, but you know what? They inspired me because they modeled, no matter how tired they were, they would still give back and help other people. So, my mom used to cook great food. She made like stacks of tortillas. They would have like young guys that would go with us that they didn't have their family, but they wanted to make money for their family. And my mom was kind of like their adoptive mom. She took care of them. She fed them and everything, and so they could give money to their family. So I always remember that, how important that my mom would tell me, and my dad too, whatever you're going to do it to the best that you can. If it's
Mhm.
digging a hole, make the best hole you can make. When you're getting paid for it, so be responsible, be dedicated, be committed. And I mean, those are things that I take to heart wherever that I've worked at or wherever I volunteered at, because that's something that they really believed in. And my dad was very involved also in politics. He would help
Was
get
he?
these. Yeah, he would get people, help people get elected if they knew him. And he would come and get to know them. And politics is a tough thing. I don't know how people do it to run for public office, because it's a big commitment for the whole family, to run and to also be doing service in whatever capacity, school board, city council. But I know that I don't want to get into politics. However, my parents did help a lot with that. So you asked me, where did I get my heart to serve of service? I gotta be honest, that's one of the things that I saw them do growing up.
Mhm.
So hey.
I'm telling you, and I'm not gonna promote child labor on this podcast, but I do think that there's something to be said for kids, and I would say previous generations, although I don't know that every single family doesn't have kids that are doing some type of work somewhere, but I think that there's something to be said for kids of previous generations that had to actually do physical labor
Mhm.
to help their
Well,
families. There's something about that just gives you that tenacity to just keep on going, because what you guys were doing was not, that's not the easiest thing in the world.
right, right.
And so, but there's something to be said about that. And, it's like when kids don't have that drive, and they're sitting on devices all day, I kind of wonder what they're losing by not
Right.
being able to help.
Well, and that's the one of the things that a lot of families are struggling with. How do we teach our kids to give back to the community? How do we motivate them and not be apathetic, to motivate themselves to help others? But there's a lot of young people that love to help. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a challenge for us adults to provide those opportunities for them. I've seen it in our Leo clubs, or even like our St. Michael's youth group. I mean, they love to go help and serve, and I see it in other church groups and or other organizations, where kids with like Santa's Cop or Toy for Tots, where young people want to go and help out. I think it's us as big people that we need to not rob them of those opportunities. We need to make sure we provide those opportunities. As a family, my parents taught me how important, when we were 9 of us that my parents had, I was the youngest, and to how important it was for us to help each other out. If it was sweeping or cleaning the toilet, or helping to prepare the meal or whatnot. It's okay for us as adults to let our kids help us. Of course, you have to have reasonable expectations, depending and age appropriate chores. But like you said, I mean, how can we do it? Well, we can do it by letting them know that as a family we help each other with chores, and take turns and help each other out, because how are they going to learn to be productive citizens and be on their own if we don't start helping them a little bit at a time when they're younger?
Well, kids need to have a purpose too. And just
Yeah.
because they're little doesn't mean that they don't know what that feels like. And I
Right.
remember, well, not I remember, just a few weeks ago, you're friends with me on Facebook. You might have seen where I posted about we had adopted a street as the church. And so we took them all on a Wednesday night and we put them all in vests, and we had the street from Crossland from Robinson to Carrier. So we had that whole street. And we had all these elementary school kids that literally were picking up trash. I mean,
Right.
picking up every single square inch of trash. And
Yes.
they were thrilled to do it. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, there's truly, if you want to have some mental health injections and get some good positivity, go watch a bunch of 10-year-olds that are picking up,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff off the ground with joy. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's something to be said about this, because they know that what they're doing is a good thing for other people.
Oh yeah.
And they also are doing it together, which I think is another part of why people join civic organizations, because it's fine
Right.
to go volunteer by yourself, but there's something else about doing it with a group. And
Right.
Lions Club, I feel like, and I've only been to one meeting, but I do know a couple of people that were there. And it does seem like an organization where people stay with it for a long period of time, over a period of years. So
Oh
you've
yeah.
had members there that have been there for quite some time.
Oh yeah, we have members that have been there over 50 years. It's
Wow.
amazing to me. Hey, I've been there 21 years. I never thought that'd be possible. But you know what? Uh, I think that's the main thing, that I've learned, is when you help others or give to others, you think that, or the people that you're helping may think, oh, they're the ones that are getting everything. However, the people that are serving get a lot in return too. I mean, it is incredible, the joy. Really, truly, I know people may think, man, what is wrong with her? But no, I mean, I get a lot of joy when seeing the child that finally can see because they get their
Mhm.
glasses, or an adult is like, wow, I was gonna try not to cry, Jenna, but it is amazing to me. Sometimes we take for granted because we do it so much, giving that bag of food or whatnot. But when you see that hope and that joy, wow, it's priceless. I don't know whether people decide to join our Lions Club or Rotary or whatever organization. I think it's important. I know I help with the Big Brothers Big Sisters, and in mentoring 2.0, and I was like, man, am I gonna have time to do this? And Chelsea with the Grand Prairie Police Department,
Mhm.
and Mayor Ron Jensen did that gathering a couple years back at Ruthie Jackson, and invited us to join and be a mentor. And I took the plunge. And you know what? I have had my mentee, my little for 2 years now, and I look forward to meeting with Brisa once a week for 30 minutes, and we video chat, and I love it. It's like, oh my God, this has been one of the easiest volunteer opportunities that I have ever done. I mean, I'm like, I encourage people, man, if you have 30 minutes a week to give, get with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, because we have a lot of kids young people out there that need a mentor, and I love it.
Yes. Yes, and that's so, so true. And one thing that I loved that the pandemic did do was I got to the point where I'd seen everything on streaming that I really just wanted to see. I was like, okay, I'm done. I've seen every movie. And then they kind of stopped producing new stuff, so there wasn't a whole lot of new things. So it's like I started, okay, what else can I do? What else is there that I can do and go spend my time doing? And I've always done, I've always taught Sunday school. I've always been a part of, church. I've always been a part of a lot of these groups. But then it's like, okay, let's expand more. Let's try to find more people that we can get to know, that we can help in the community.
Right.
And I just want to encourage anybody that's listening. I know that especially as a parent with a young kid, it can be very challenging to find the time. But I will say that your kids can come with you. And,
Yes.
I mean, when I went to that meeting, your grandsons were there.
Oh
I
yeah,
want to say,
we bring kids or grandkids. We're very family friendly, and we're very diverse, And hey, we want more diversity, and we need, more people volunteer, more people join. The more service we can do out in our community. We did a Lions Vision Clinic for the Grand Prairie ISD not that long ago, but before the pandemic, we could do like a vision clinic for 100 or 150 kids at a time. But now, because of the COVID safety protocols, we can do maybe 30, 40 at a time because we have to follow certain procedures. But
what do you
you
do
know
in a
what?
what do you do in a vision clinic?
Well, what we do is we have the Lion Side and Tissue Foundation. They're one of our 2X1 charities, and they come and they set up, and we have a doctor optometrist that checks their vision, does the vision eye exam, and if they need glasses, they get their glasses for free, and the exam for free. Our club pays for the doctor to come and do the service, so the kids or the adults that go through our clinic don't have to. So it's amazing. One of the first activities that I did as a lion was go do sports extravaganza. And it's like a Special Olympics for kids that are visually impaired or are blind. And our club does the archery. Hopefully, we'll get to do that this year. We weren't able to do it last year because of the pandemic, but this year we're hoping we know we're going to do it. But that was one of the first activities I did, and a vision clinic. So you know what? I love a vision clinic, and we would go to a clinic in Dallas and do it there, and it was amazing. We'd have like 100 to 150 kids, and Jenna, though, one of the times I went, I got to tell you real quick, I had had a rough week that week, and I was like, man, I had all this laundry to do, and I got up in the morning. And I'm telling this story because I think it's important for people out there to know what a difference volunteering makes, even
Mm.
though how tired you may be. And if you have some time, be great for you to join Lions, hopefully join Lions, because that's what I'm talking about today. And I went that morning and I was hemming and hawing the whole morning driving there. I was like, man, why did I sign up? In my brain, I was telling myself this because usually I would meet one of my other Lion members and we'd eat breakfast and then head on over there, be there by 7 o'clock. And I was telling myself, oh man, why did I do this? I needed to stay home and do my laundry. I get there and we help all these kids. It was awesome. Once I get there, I was like, okay, this is why I do this, because I love doing it, right? And then this great grandma comes up to me and she asked me, well, what's your name? I said, Lioness Esmeralda. And she said, well, can I talk to you? And she proceeds to tell me that, you know, I want to thank you and all the Lions. Please tell the Lions, because she had brought her 5 great grandkids with her. They were struggling in school. And she said, you know, Miss Esmeralda, why I have my great grandkids? Because their mom died of breast cancer. And then they went with their grandmother, and the grandmother had died of tumorous cancer. And then she proceeds to tell me that she had stage 4 cancer. Jenna, you know what? I thought to myself that moment, what was I hemming and hawing about? Because I had laundry to do, and this lady had 5 kids she was struggling with to get them their vision exams done and getting eyeglasses. She has stage 4 cancer, and she still got on a bus and walked from where the bus stop was to the clinic for her kids to get what they needed. And that's what parents and grandparents or whoever is raising kids do. You put aside what your needs are for the benefit of kids. And you know what? She told me we had helped her reach her great goal, because she wanted, before she died, for her kids to be able to do good in school, and them getting their glasses was going to help that happen. And the second thing she was going to do, finish doing, she had gotten some family members to go ahead and sign affidavits that they were going to meet every Sunday at the church where the mom went and where the grandma went and where she had been taking them. So, because nobody was going to take all 5 kids like she had. And there's a lot of families that we work with in our district that are in that situation, doubled up, tripled up, or living with a friend or relative for whatever circumstances. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is they have somebody caring in their life that steps up to be there for them. And us as our district and a community, we try to support them the best that we can. Like you said, bring as many people together, and those connections and those relationships to address issues like this. And our Lions do a pretty good job, but we can't do it alone either. We need more hands, more feet, because that way we can service more kids and more adults to get their eyeglasses.
That story makes me simultaneously sad and simultaneously excited, like happy that somebody was there. But, I think that in our society right now, the more that we isolate ourselves onto our devices or inside of our houses, and the more that we get away from other people, it can be very easy to become very jaded and very negative. And the more that you get to be around the more that you get to be around people, number one, people that you don't know, and number two, that have different circumstances than you have, it just grows your empathy, and it just grows your compassion, and it just grows your joy, because you do get to see. You said something that I have to ask you about. So y'all do it's like a Special Olympics type thing, and you do the archery for kids that are visually impaired.
Yeah, and get this, one of our Lion members put a beeper, so the kiddos that are blind or have a visual impairment, they can know where to aim. Jenna, they love it, and they are so good at it. Man, they're even better than me, and I can see, but man, they are pretty awesome at it. It is incredible to see the events that they do, running, things sometimes we take for granted that we can do, or that our kids or grandkids can do. But we have a lot of volunteers, student volunteers, adult volunteers, like community volunteers, Lion volunteers that come together to make it happen over at Urban Nemitz High School. And also we've had the goal ball at the GPISD South Prairie Ninth Grade Center building, the Dr. Vern Alexander building also, where kids that are vision impaired can play goalball, and it's pretty awesome to see the kids. Oh, there goes my grandchild.
I know, I was gonna say hi. He walked by.
You want to say hi, Jason? Oh, he's taking out the dog. But girl, let me tell you, it is inspiring to see the kids just have fun.
Mm.
And we did one event not that long ago. There's my daughter Marissa,
Hello.
and with families that have kids with special needs over at the Playground Adventures. And we're gonna do that this coming Friday, June 4th. Hopefully, it doesn't rain on us. But the last time it was supposed to rain, and it stopped, and we had a great time. And gave
That
away hot
playground,
dogs.
that
I
thing is
love that
amazing.
Playground Adventures.
I do too.
All ability sport.
I'll tell you, I took Avery there not too long ago, like in the last month, and I just was looking around, and I mean, the place was full, and I was looking around, and I just thought to myself, there's hope for our world, because look at these kids. They are playing, they are using every square inch of this place, and they're loving meeting new friends. And, you know, our families are together. They're making, kids are great great excuses to make new friends for parents, because sometimes that can be intimidating. But well, tell everybody, when do y'all meet for the Lions Club, and when can the kids be a part of that too?
Yeah. So our Grand Prairie Host Lions Club here in Grand Prairie meets the first Thursday, and actually we meet this coming Thursday at from 12 to 1. We're actually going to meet at the Grand Prairie Public Library on 901 Conover because we were going to meet at Betty Warmack. However, they have elections going on, and the summit is not quite open yet. So we're going to meet there. And then the third Thursday, we meet at Outlaws Barbecue from 6 to 7. If people want to come join us, interested, come hear about what we're doing. We'd love to have you come. You also can get on our Facebook page, Grand Prairie Host Lions Club Facebook page, and you can sign up. Let us know. We'll invite you to come join. If you're a person that loves to do for others, loves to do service, has a heart for service, we want you. We need you. Or if you're interested you're living in another city or town, I mean, we have 2X1. We're all over. We're in Dallas. Oh my God, we have 58 clubs all over the Metroplex. But if we don't have a club in your city and you want to start one, we're working right now on doing a cyber club, and we just need 20 members, and they can meet once a month virtually and do service once a month in different places. So that'll be up to them. So that's something
and I'll add this too, because I actually did come one night just to be social. So even if you don't have or you don't feel like you have a heart right now for service, come and have fellowship. Use it as an excuse to just come be social and to meet new people, because I guarantee you'll find people that you want that are interesting, that you want to talk to. And sometimes I think people wait for that motivation to go, oh, okay, one day I'm just going to want to all of a sudden start volunteering and do it. No, that's not how it works. It's not. You said it too. I was the same way. You were asked for 10 years and you're like, no, I don't have any time. And then now all of a sudden you're like doing all these things. So it's the time thing is an excuse. Let's be honest. Like, I do the same exact thing. So I'm like, what is a selfish reason for me to want to go? Let's start with that. If I just want to be selfish and go meet new friends, let me do that to start off with, because once you get there, you'll find purpose in it. And so I hope everybody does join. The last time I went, there was a lot of people there. I was kind of surprised, because considering that we had, it was still kind of in the middle of everything, that it was fun. I mean, and there's a school board member there that's a member, and then there's a city council member that's a member. So if you want to go, even if you want to go have a voice with your elected officials, they join a lot of civic organizations in our city, and that's a good opportunity.
Right. So, well, we have the two school board members, Gloria Carrillo and Brian
Gloria,
Parra,
that's right.
and Brian Parra, and Gloria Carrillo helps us a lot with Noche de Navidad with ASE, Hispanic Association of Culture and Education. We do Noche de Navidad, help 250 families with gifts and food baskets every year. So, and we have a city councilman, Cole Humphreys, that's in it also. But you know what? The main thing is we have people that from all walks of life
Mm-hmm.
that they enjoy helping. And the beauty of it is
And
you
all
don't have to do
ages,
it all.
literally all ages.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have all ages, young and
Mm-hmm.
old. And I think our youngest is 18 and the oldest is, oh, I don't know. I'm not going to say the age,
Yeah.
but it's okay. They love serving. Hey, my grandson, the oldest one, he's like, when can I be a lion? And he's like, I said, do I have to wait till I'm 18? And I'm like, you know what? No, you can be a Leo. So we're going to start a Leo club here in the Grand Prairie area. Actually, maybe 2 or 3, because you can be 12 years old and older to be a Leo. So it's pretty awesome. They
That's
can start helping
amazing.
when they're young. So, hey, Jane, I'm still going to invite you and then ask you whenever you're ready to join, let me know.
Well, I'll definitely visit for sure. And I want to be a part of I wanted to talk to you and anybody else, that's a part of that group that would love to talk to me too, and talk about the experience of, giving back. I feel like there's a, there's a, there's a sense right now of everybody feeling like they need a purpose. I just feel like that's very prevalent. And I think that as pushing, especially some of the younger kids, to really make sure that they know that they can be a part of the community and they're a part of it, and that they have mentors in us as adults that teach them and model how to do that. I just feel like that's really important. And so,
Yes.
yeah, anybody else that is in that group that would love to talk to me, I would love to talk to them too.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Right. Well, you
um,
know what? Yeah, because we focus on fellowship, definitely, and we definitely like to have fun, enjoy good food, but the fellowship's most important, aside from the service. But that's usually how it works. We're a Lions family, no
mhm.
doubt about it. And I think what's been really awesome with our Lion members is that the more we get to know each other, we're from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different experiences. We find that we're more similar than we are different, and we get to connect with each other, get to listen and talk with each other. We learn that, oh, wow, you grew up with that. Oh, well, I believe in that too. Or we learn and we accept each other too. It's important to embrace each other.
100%. And having a common goal is
Hmm.
a really big deal too. So, well, I'm going to put all the links for the Lions Club. I'll put the link and I'll put your Facebook link if it's
Yes.
possible. Then if anybody wants to message you and ask you questions about the schedule,
Okay.
and I'm going to put that all on the episode. But Esmeralda, thank you so much for talking with me. I really
Oh,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Thank you for giving us a opportunity so people can learn a little bit about Lions Club. And, remember, we're 1.4 million members in over 200 countries, girl. It's
Sheesh.
amazing.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I was kind of surprised that there's that many districts in the state of Texas.
There's 16 districts. There used to be less, but then they opened it up to 16 districts because we're part of MD2, Multiple District 2 is the state of Texas. But that's how we divide it. And then you remember, we have 16 districts. So, but of course, I believe 2X1 is the best because it represents all the Metroplex and Grand Prairie is in it.
That's right. Exactly. Well, you have a wonderful night. Tell everybody I
Bye.
said bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Jenna. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.